Bonjour, everybody. This is Tiggy Maximus with Tiggy Maximus Talks on YouTube, episode 48. So, welcome back, guys. I just want to get on here pretty quickly. I did say in my last episode I was going to give you a little teaser of my comedy show reviews at two shows at the Madhouse Comedy Club downtown San Diego and one at the Mic Drop in Claremont Mesa Boulevard. Um, I wanted to put all the reviews together since I'll be talking about the comedy shows. So I want to do it all in one episode. So let's get into it. So last Thursday, went to the Madhouse Comedy Club downtown. And as you may have heard me say before, I actually do have the annual pass. So I can actually go to as many shows as I want. Yeah, whether it could be one or it could be 10 or quite possibly maybe 30 or 50 shows, and all for one price of 30 bucks. And I think one show is like between 15 to 30 bucks already. So I already went to like three shows already, so plus open mics. So I already got my money's worth. And it's only the, what is it, 31st of January? There's another 11 months to go. So, with that being said, my first review is Thursday night. The show was headlined by Alfonso Ochoa, and it was hosted by Melissa Wiseman. Um, Great comics. Um, they're well known here in San Diego, and I want to give you my thoughts of all the comics from that night. So, from what I have written down, um, so Melissa Wiseman, she did some stand up in between comics. I'm pretty sure she did some when she was hosting, and then some jokes in between comics. Overall, I actually thought her material was 7.7 out of 10. Um, it was a lot of kind of mostly the same jokes I've heard before. I've probably now seen her like maybe 5 times now, so I think I remember most of her stuff now. So, but it's pretty good stuff. But eventually, I'd like to hear some more new stuff down the road. Maybe go to a full set of hers. Um, but overall, she did a great job hosting actually, and she's very stylish and she knows how to talk to the crowd. So yeah, 7.7 out of 10. Um, I guess the first comic that came up was Alan Henderson. Cool guy. I got to talk to him for a little bit. Um, he does have his. He always likes to talk about what was the most, I guess you could say, most either traumatizing adult thing that one would have seen in their childhood. Um, it's usually the crowd is always saying seeing their mom and dad have sex, and that's like the traumatizing moment in any person's life. Um, so that was like most like the most common answer whenever Alan Henderson asked that question to the crowd. But he always has this other thing where, he feels that he's going to be screwed if there's a fire in the building and he can't escape like all the other people because the wheelchair. But he's a funny guy. Um, I would love to hear more new material from him because I think I've seen him a couple of times now, but I haven't heard anything new in particular. So, for today's episode, I'm gonna give him a 7.5 out of 10 from that show. Next up was Killian McSassy. Guy was alright. He probably told a few good jokes, but um, I've noticed that around at this point, the crowd was not all laughing, and there was only maybe a few people laughing. So I'm trying to remember. The crowd was probably no more than like 20 or so, but with 20 people, I don't think there was a lot of laughter going on up to this point. With Killian, I would say he was a 7.4 out of 10. Next up was Tim Hill. Um, I think he mentioned that he does walk dogs as one of his jobs, if not his full time job. And he was mentioning in his bit where um, these dog owners will text him that don't don't worry about the mess or something. And Tim was kind of, you know, somewhat annoyed getting these messages about how it's always the same thing where, oh, sorry about the mess, sorry about the mess. But um, I think he ended the joke by saying that, texting back, well, make sure you refill the, I guess it was like Chris, what is it? Um, Sparkling water or something. And uh, and I guess something about how he's like watching, you know, made a joke about watching movies on their Netflix and then drinking up all their sparkling water since he's technically supposed to be watching and walking the dog or something. So it was kind of funny. So I actually kind of gave Tim Hill a 7.6. Next up, we have Kyle Drake. Um, there might have been maybe one funny joke coming from Kyle Drake, but as of this moment, I don't remember much about his set. So I think he just gave him a 7.5. Again, the crowd wasn't really into it, and most of my ratings are kind of reflecting on this because I can just tell that from where I was sitting at, there wasn't a lot of laughter going on. Next up was Alex Perugina. Pegrina. Um, I actually gave him 7.4. Again, nothing really stood out from his set that I can remember. Nothing I brought home in my mind of what the person had actually said. So I would say 7.4 out of 10 is probably correct actually. Um, I don't even remember actually tagging some of these comics actually because not only did I have any pictures of them, and it's a policy that I don't take pictures while they're on set, but none of them stuck around really to even talk, which is usually my thing. And I already knew some of the comics, but some of these were kind of new to me. Unfortunately, I didn't get to talk to most of them. It's okay. I was hanging out with Melissa and Cash Habib anyway, so they're pretty cool. Next up, well, great performance from Kylie Troop. She's a very regular comic here in San Diego. Always love her sets. I gave her an 8.10, 8 out of 10. She's always pretty funny. Um, Sometimes I don't actually remember if it's like the same material each time, so it might be a little different. So I like how she's doing like longer and longer sets and, just getting out there, working material. And, I support her and she recognized who I am. So we're cool. And then we got the headliner, Alfonso Ochoa. Um, he's a nice guy, very funny as well. Um, he'll be doing some headliners here in San Diego. Um, mm, burp. Um, I think his some of his stuff was let's see, what did he say? Um, I think he mentioned how people get confused about his race or ethnicity, and he did confirm that he is Mexican. So, but someone may have thought that maybe he was something else, like, I don't know, mm, maybe Filipino or Japanese. And then I think he might have said something where they were speaking to him in a different language that he didn't speak, and they thought that he was Asian, but it turns out he's really just, Mexican. And to everyone's disappointment, um, I think 8.8 out of 10 is fair. Um, I would say from the entire lineup, it did not get a strong reaction from the crowd, so it was mostly quiet, and the comics did kind of acknowledge that. I tried my best to, you know, say a lot of woos and, um, you know, kind of try to support my best, do my best to support the comics while they're on stage, but I'm just one voice. You kind of need a lot of voices to kind of help it to have a contagious laughter in the room, which gets everybody laughing, and that makes it a very strong reaction. And comics usually get a big boost from people laughing at their jokes. So I mean, in a way, if you really think about it, if you go and do stand up comedy and you make at least two people laugh, then you at least accomplished that goal. Necessarily, you don't always have to get a whole room to laugh at every single joke, but if you can get some people to laugh, I mean, it's better than nothing, right? So that's my review of the Thursday night one. I think that was what, January 26th, Thursday night. Um, I went again. Well, actually, I did go to an open mic right after the Thursday show, and I did see Alfonso Ochoa do it again, actually. And then I'm trying to remember. I might have seen Veronica Gordon. Yeah, I think I saw Veronica Gordon. And then there's Samantha Schwimmer. So, um, trying to remember if I saw Robert Sanchez, but so some of the regular San Diego comedians, I did see them at the open mic. Some bad ones, but some were pretty decent. Hopefully, I'll see them on lineups at my usual comedy club places, and hopefully, I'll see them again at other places. So, and some of the material, if I hear it again from the open mic and I hear it at another big show that I go to, then I'll make the connection that I actually remember hearing that joke. So then it reminds me that, yeah, you know what? I actually did see them at a open mic. And now that they're in, like, lineups at restaurants and bars and these shows. So who knows? I might see some of these comics on the Don't Tell Comedy circuit in San Diego. So that'd be cool. All right. Let's go to the Friday session. Friday, I went again to the Madhouse, and um, this time the Friday show, it was hosted by Shar Rampton. It was actually my first time meeting her, actually, and I actually got to talk to her, actually, and she's pretty cool. Um, the show was headlined by Wyatt Cote. Um, so let's start with the ratings. So Shar did do some stand up. I've seen her before. She did host an open mic at the Comedy Store in La Jolla. So she told me that she just started doing this like within the last year. So that's pretty cool. Um, I think her stand up comedy material, I think it was like a 7.8 out of 10. She is kind of funny, and hopefully, she might be funnier as time goes by. So maybe I'll see her on different lineups, and we'll see what kind of material she got. So, um, mm, so then the first comic after the host, it was Logan Kiros. Um, Guy was kind of funny. I kind of gave him 8 out of 10. Um, I'm trying to remember. He might have talked about girlfriends and stuff in his bit. So, um, mm, yeah, things about girlfriends and love and stuff. So, next person that came up was Jared Kastenbaum. Guy was alright. I kind of gave him an 8 out of 10 actually. Um, I don't remember anything from particular from his thing. Um, Next up we have KJ Robinson. I actually got to talk to him after the show actually. Give him 8.2 out of 10. Guy was kind of funny. Um, I think he had talked about uh, hmm, I think it was maybe stuff about him being black and cops. So, um, but I remember he had gotten some good reactions from the crowd, so he did provide some laughs. We also have Ben Gordon. I gave him an 8 out of 10. I thought he was alright, but he got some laughs too. And then there was a Ryan Goodcase. I think I gave him 8 out of 10. Don't remember if anything kind of stood out to me. Um, I mean, it has been a few days, so quite possibly I should have taken notes or something. But I think I was just enjoying myself, and the fact that the crowd was actually very receptive, and they were much better than the Thursday night crowd. And then your headliner, Wyatt Cote, I actually saw him one time at the Amplified Brewery in Pacific Beach, hosted by Melissa Wiseman. Um, his material, I think, was mostly the same, actually. And he did do some crowd work. And so I thought that maybe why it was 8.3 out of 10. He still has this whole bit about Spirit Airlines, how they cost, what was it, $50. Is it $50 to have a carry on? But the ticket for going on a flight is like less than $50. So quite possibly he could have packed himself into a suitcase and put himself in a seat. So yeah, and he does have a T-shirt that says, that he survived a flight from Spirit Airlines or something, and then have some captions that says "May the odds be forever in your favor," or "May the odds be ever in your favor." So from the Hunger Games quote. Uh, so I did talk to Wyatt after the show, and he did talk about the little incident that happened at the PB show, hosted by Melissa Wiseman. So it was technically the last show ever at that brewery under the hosting duties of Melissa Wiseman. So, um, but I won't get too much into that. But Wyatt did mention to me that he noticed that the crowd kind of they were really warming up to him for most part of his set, but then like maybe the last 5-10 minutes, it's when I guess maybe the crowd sort of turned on him, and then when the show was over, no one really wanted to stay behind and really talk to him except for this one couple. But everyone who was in that room, they all just kind of walked by while Wyatt just said, "Thank you for coming. Have a good night." Uh, something like that. But he had that big feeling that he kind of messed up towards the end or something. So, um, but overall, this crowd on Friday night was much better than the one on Thursday night. So, and then let's go ahead and talk about Sunday, this past Sunday, the 29th. So, show was held at the Mic Drop in Clever Mesa Boulevard. Great comedy club. Um, Full menu, great staff. Um, I brought my two buddies with me, Dupree, D2 Nice, um, Randy, same good old Randy. So it was actually their first time at the mic drop, and I think they had a good time. They laughed a lot. The show was headlined by Shang the comedian, and it was hosted by Jeff Grooms. Funny about that part is that when I first saw Jeff Grooms at the open mics, I could have sworn he looks like the split in image of my friend Dupree. They could be twins, actually. But when I got to talk to Jeff, cool guy, and shared some of my uh, comedy experiences and my little um, issues with certain comedy hosts, producers here in San Diego, how I got banned for life from someone's show, Benji Reyes' show. So, um, I'm glad that a lot of these comics kind of told me their experience with Benji Reyes and how they don't like him. So, it's cool that I have support from a lot of these comics. So, I don't feel like it was just an isolated incident that was just with me and that maybe I shouldn't belong, but I'm there to support all this. I'm there to support all the comics. Um, so yeah, let's start with the ratings here. So I finally got to hear like I guess you could say a longer set from Jeff Grooms. I actually thought his material was like an 8 out of 10. Funny guy. And then we brought up uh, Taylor, Tyler, oh, Taylor Great. Um, Really tall guy. He's really into Spider Man. So most of his set was about Spider Man, actually. Um, I would say his was like an 8 out of 10. And he's a cool guy after talking to him after the show. Very nice guy. Um, Next up was Ray Montoya. He's a cool guy. He does tour with Shang a lot, does open for him. And he's he was funny. He did his bit where he wanted to ask this one couple like what do you imagine like what a normal day would be between the two of them, and he kind of enacted how the guy looked like he was like a man's man, and like he would just take a shirt off at work and he would be chopping lumber or something, and then he would come home to his hot wife and you make love, and then he would kind of mimic how they would make love or something. And he mentions how, you know, the guy would have like wood chips still on him and just falling on his hot wife, and you know the sweat is dripping on his hot wife with the wood chips, and then says that the guy will probably go to a bar because he's a man's man or something. So funny bit. uh, yeah, and then there's something about sucking dick too. So uh, overall, Ray Montoya, I gave him an 8 out of 10. Um, and then after Ray was, I think her name is Vaughn De Carlo. Funny gal, actually. She talks about being clingy and how, um, you know, sometimes the heart is in the vagina. So, so a lot of people laughed in that, and then I can definitely tell you that this room has a lot more laughter than the crowds over at the Madhouse, but definitely a lot louder than the Thursday night crowd. So, um, so yeah, Don had a good set. I like what she had to say, and of course, you know, this is my first time seeing her, and she's really nice after the show. So I kind of gave Vaughn 8.5 out of 10. So hopefully I'll see her set again down the road. As same thing goes with Jeff and Ray and Taylor. Now here comes the part where uh, I actually ran into Shang before the show. He parked his car, and then I actually had carpool with Dupree, and we saw Shang going in, and we got to get reacquainted. And then, yeah, Shang had to get ready. Um, I was waiting for Randy to join us so that all three of us could sit together. Um, yeah, so we all got to be at the same table. We're all on the same page now. The staff does recognize me. I guess I'm very popular these days. So, uh, so with with Shang set, he got the whole crowd laughing the entire night of his set. So that's always good. Talked about how he would get together with his with one of the audience members' mom because the daughter brought the mom, and then um, the mom had a good interaction with Shang. And then there was another woman in the front row who had a good interaction too. So you could think that maybe the mom of the one daughter and the other lady, they both are fighting for, the attention of Shang, and Shang is like just taking it all in. And then he just has great crowd work, honestly. And that's actually a good bit. It was like maybe 10, 15 minutes of that to start off his set. And then I don't think he actually did any actual jokes just yet. But, Shang is pretty funny. He can be forward, but, but in a funny way. And just encourage that everybody should not be so sensitive. So, and I get that too. Um, yeah. So, and then Shang eventually did kind of go into this whole thing. He said that he actually went to a comedy show and he did a joke about um, what was it? They should do a Walking Dead zombies movie with like gay people and how different and funny that would be from watching World War Z with Brad Pitt because that movie was about zombies. But imagine a zombie movie that had zombies that had you know basically gay zombies and stuff. And if you think about it, um, gay zombies that may be wanting to bite um, a human that wasn't infected, bite a guy's penis or something, and then made a joke how, hun, I'm gonna take this for the team. I'm gonna hold off everybody here, and then everybody laughed because like, yeah, um, all these gay zombies wants to bite my dick, and then I'm doing it for humanity. So everybody laughed at that joke. Um, and then you mentioned that when you said that joke in Atlanta, because apparently I guess Atlanta has a lot of gay people, and Shang said that two guys came after the show, and um, one had like his shirt all tied up in a knot, and then the other was like a big bulky guy, and then obviously he talked. It was like very feminine, um, and so I guess Shang punched one of the guys. Um, so so when he said that, everybody laughed. So overall, um, some of the material actually was kind of similar to when I first heard Shang back at the Sea Legs at the beach in Huntington Beach at the Bolsa State Beach. So that was hosted by Ahmed, and um, so I remember hearing that, and honestly, I thought that he was a lot funnier this time around. So my rating for Shang for Sunday night at the mic drop, I give them 8.9 out of 10. So those are my ratings for the comedy shows from Thursday night, Friday night, and Sunday night. Um, if you guys are big fans of Alfonso Ochoa, go see him. If you're a big fan of Wyatt Cote, go see him. And if you're a big fan of Shang, go see him. And also, see the Londy Carlos and Tyler Greats and Ray Montoya's and Jeff Grooms and the Kyle Troops. So there's a lot of comedy out here in San Diego, and then try to catch them. Follow them on Instagram, and then go to their shows. See how good they are, because some of them are really good, and some maybe need some work, but still, we still all support them. I do, anyway. And then this coming week, I'm trying to debate if I should go to some shows this week because I'm going to be really busy with comedy shows again, starting on February 6th, starting from Ocean Beach, and then going to the La Jolla Comedy Store February 8th, featuring Linda Schwartz and Lynn Sun, which is going to be hosted by Crystal De La Rosa, who I've been wanting to see for a while again. I've seen her once at the Comedy Store when it was the Pretty Funny Women. And then and I think it also has like Kimball's Hooms, Kim Hooms or Kimball Hooms. So, and then I think I'm going to the February 9th show for the shit show with Katie K. And then yeah, and then I think there's a show. Maybe it's like February 11th or February 18th. I want to say February 18th. So it's gonna be a late night at the mic drop. So a lot of comedy shows coming up for me in February. So, and then I probably will do another Don't Tell comedy show down, depending on where it is. So we can fit it all in. So what else? Oh, so the AFC Championship and the NFC Championship, both games are done now. The top seeded of the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs, managed to beat the Cincinnati Bengals, the 3 seed, in KC with a field goal with 3 seconds left. And Patrick Mahomes, who is already limping all game long because of an injury from the week before, managed to beat Joe Burrow, paid them back for last year's loss in the AFC Championship game. So now the Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. So this is the, I guess, the third time Patrick Mahomes has led the Chiefs to the Super Bowl in 4 years. So hopefully, you might be able to pull it off again. And then on the other side, so the score was 23-20, by the way, Chiefs over Bengals. The other thing on the NFC side, top seeded Philadelphia Eagles, they had defeated the number 2 seeded San Francisco 49ers. They beat them 31-7. Eagles defense pretty fierce. Jalen Hurts wasn't 100%, but he got the